I just love that we have been gifted moonshine on the full moon. Welcome to Conversations with the Ancestors, where we connect to ancestral wisdom, cosmic insight, and healing rituals to redeem and liberate our souls. You're here because your higher self and your ancestors brought you here. So get your tea or coffee, take a breath, and settle in because, baby, this is for you. Hello, divine beings. Welcome to Conversations with the Ancestors, where we tap into ancestral wisdom, we heal and grow together through community healing, and we dip into the cosmos, honey. And I am really excited for today's episode because we're dipping into the cosmos. Let's talk about this full moon that just passed. Right now, as I record this, it's September 9th, and we had a full moon eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, and we're in Virgo season. And so I don't know how many of you all follow the full moon or do moon practices or moon rituals, but man, when I tell you this full moon had me tired. Like, full moons are usually the time for rest, relaxation, and release. And so that's what I really felt like this moon did. It made me rest. It made me do some relaxation, and I released. And I did relaxation in one of the most beautiful ways that I have been working to manifest and call in for my life. I've been working to manifest and call in, I have manifested into my life ease, opulence, and luxury. And I've been seeing how the universe has been responding to that manifestation, all of the different ways that ease, luxury, and rest have been unfolding into my life. And so this weekend, besides me being sat down by the moon to rest, I also had the opportunity for some luxury. The producer I'm here working with on my music, he's got a friend who is also a phenomenal artist who has a boat, like a random boat. And so we were out on the lake on a boat, chilling with the full moon and singing and vibing to nature because the producer had his guitar and I'm riffing and singing, the other person's doing poetry. It was a blast. This full moon took me through rest, relaxation, luxury, opulence, and release. So the release part of this past weekend with the full moon was releasing my intentions out into the world and to the moon. So I, during our time on the lake singing, the things that we were singing and professing and putting out there was really all of the stuff that we want to manifest, and we released it. We just sang, spoke it, professed it in so many prophetic ways, and then released it. And that felt really good to have that moment this weekend. And funny enough, it's getting kind of cold here in North Carolina. I'm still in North Carolina. It's getting kind of chilly here, and we out on the lake, but the sun was out. It was really bright and shiny, but I knew that it was gonna get cold. I don't like to be cold. So I took this here jacket that I have on right now. For my viewers, I have on a faux fox brown, like deep brown, soft, cozy coat with a hood. It's got a hood on it. So I took this with me out on the boat, and because I knew it was gonna get cold. And it actually served me really well the entire boat ride, not just the evening part of it. And even the producer was like, "You gonna take that?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking this. It's gonna be cold." Funny enough, when we got back to the location that I'm staying at, we kind of, said goodbye to everybody. Another friend met us there and just was like, "Hey, kind of catching up, whatever." Anyways, they turned to me, it's an older person, turned to me and was like, "Robert, Denise, you took that on the boat with you?" I was like, "Yes, honey, I'm fabulous. Don't you know this?" And that just made me giggle because it added to the environment that I am actively manifesting and cultivating, that I live a life of opulence and luxury. And so any ways that I can bring in what that feels like for me, I'm doing that. I'm walking in life of luxury and opulence because that's what I want to see in my life. So I'm moving and walking as if I already have it. And I got this coat here. That is fabulous, honey. Fabulous. This is for you. This is for you. Say their name, say their name. We do it to remember those who came before us. So baby, say their name, say their name, say their name. We do it to remember those who came before us. We gonna say their name. It is the honor and ancestor moment. And as I am still in North Carolina, I have a special treat for me and for y'all. So I wanted to record this earlier than today. And it was not giving. Like, I was prepared, but like my spirit was like, "We tired, sit down." Then something else happened and couldn't do it. And I was just like, man, I really want to record this. The spirit is willing, but the external things is not really making it happen. So I just said, okay, I'm gonna record this podcast when it's time to record it. The ancestors gonna let me know. How about today? My friend and producer and some other folks got some moonshine. I'm showing y'all the moonshine. Bought some moonshine for me to taste so I could get a full North Carolina experience of what it means to be here. And like, this is a family made moonshine. For my listeners, it's like a clear see-through-ish liquid, but this color has like a tint. It's almost giving like a rosé kind of tinty color. Traditionally, moonshine refers to homemade liquor, and historically it was usually illegally produced and distilled, and it usually is whiskey. I think it's made from like old potatoes or something. That just dropped into my spirit. Not old potatoes, fermented potatoes, something about potatoes. I didn't look up how to make moonshine before I did this. I just wanted to share with you guys that the land supplied some moonshine. So it's usually clear, very strong, and unaged. And in like the prohibition time, drinking moonshine was illegal. Drinking any type of liquor was illegal. And these people could get caught by authorities. So the family, my friend's family who made this, he was telling me that like they got really good at driving fast. And I just thought that was so funny because they were making this illegal moonshine and driving fast throughout the mountains of North Carolina, making sure that they like are able to go around these curves, not go off the side of a cliff, and evade the police, just to like deliver their moonshine and get money, get paid. Okay, that's what it was about. That was the name of the game. So we've got moonshine from this here land, an ancestral offering. We're gonna pour some out for the ancestors, and we're gonna pour some out for me, and we're gonna appreciate the ancestry of this land. And I'm going to do that by pouring out a little bit for the ancestors, and taking a sip with them because I ain't never had moonshine. This is literally the first time that I have ever had moonshine. I'm smelling it now. Take a deep breath. Let me whiff it in. It smells good. It doesn't really smell like much. Like it's kind of soft. Like it almost feels like there is like a rosé type of, like there's rose in it or something. Just like the color is kind of like this translucent pinkiness. It's giving a little sweetness to it. In the smell. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's pour some out for the homies, for the ancestors of this land. I'm placing it on the altar. And I'm going to pour a little bit out for me to share with the ancestors. All right. I'm ringing the bell. Welcome in, ancestors. Let's just take a moment to say, I appreciate you North Carolina ancestors who came through and said, Rob and Denise need to try some good. Try the history of this land. And I am grateful to be able to share that with them and to share this experience with you all. Literally, this is the first time that I've ever tasted moonshine. Authentic, original moonshine. That a family who's made moonshine for decades, centuries maybe, made. How beautiful to put that ancestry onto our communal ancestor altar. Cheers. Oh my God, this is so good. Oh my gosh, this tastes just like candy. I don't know what they did. This tastes like candy. Oh, I can feel the hit of the alcohol though. But this really tastes just like candy. It's sweet. It is kind of floral, like I said when I smelt it. Goddamn. Excuse my language. That's good. We're gonna let that ride. This is for you, ancestors, it's for you. This is for you, for you, for you. You know, I just love that we have been gifted moonshine on the full moon. Like, how beautiful is that? And remember I was telling you that I was really trying to record this earlier. And I really know, I truly believe and know that the land wanted us to have this for this episode, this moonshine for this episode, in connection with the full moon that just passed. And then so it was like, you just gotta wait. Like, you just gotta wait till you get this moonshine that you don't even know is coming. I didn't know I was getting blessed with some moonshine to taste today, okay? But when it came and they were talking about the history of it and sharing that with me, I was like, oh my gosh, this needs to be a part of the episode today. One of the things I want to share is that I put this on the altar. So you've seen this altar in many of the videos for this podcast. This is our communal altar. And listeners who haven't seen the visuals of this podcast, there is a communal altar that I have up specifically for this podcast, specifically for our ancestors and, excuse me, that's how we know spirit moving. Our ancestors and the ancestors of this land. So a communal ancestor altar can have a variety of things on it. This one in particular has some crystals, the moonshine now as an offering, water, candle, a piece of my heritage, and then the bell. So normally in other episodes, this altar has had flowers on it, coffee, etc. And we'll learn more about communal ancestor altars, why I have them specifically for this show. But I want to encourage you to get a head start on learning about that and go to my website, robindenise.com, to download a free altar guide and checklist. It walks you through what is an ancestor altar, what are ancestors, why are we even communing with them, What do we need an altar for? And how do you start one? What elements should be on there? So I really encourage you to check that out and pay attention to the altars when they're in the videos if you're able to. And we will be discussing different parts of altars and what that means for us connecting with our ancestors more and more throughout the podcast. But today we have added an offering of moonshine to the altar for these North Carolinian ancestors. And that to me feels so delicious. So today we continue honoring the life and legacy of Ancestor Willie Otey Kay, who was born in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1894 and died in 1992 at the age of 98. Now, as a famous sought-after dressmaker who worked with all people in a time when segregation was rampant, Jim Crow laws were enacted and enforced, this dressmaker put her life in danger to make sure other people felt good in their skin. And I want to kind of connect this to how we are transitioning into the newness of who we are as people. Meaning, with the full moon this weekend, we were given a cosmic jump start into the transition of whatever next timeline we're moving into, individually and collectively. The planets were doing all sorts of things in the sky, and it really made this full moon very potent, especially with it being Virgo season. And Virgo season is the season where you ground in the dreams that you are dreaming, the things that you want to see for yourself, for your body, for your family, for your friends, for your coworkers, for your work life, for just you, period, in all facets. Virgo season is that time where we ingrain the consistency to make our dreams and the desires of our heart real. And Pisces, which is the full moon, was in the zodiac astrological placement of Pisces. Pisces is the dreamer. Pisces is a whole lot more than the dreamer, but I'm going to focus on the dreamer part for today. And it allows us to dream big, dream crazy, even sometimes dream to a delusional amount. So with this full moon in Pisces situated in the season of Virgo, we get to dream wild, big dreams and then use the energy of Virgo to help us ground it into the earth side of this world, the 3D, right? So take it from our mental landscape, our 4D, 5D, 7D, all of those Ds that are in there, and ground it into the 3D so that we can see it in this 3D plane. The eclipse gives a boost to that. It like jump starts that. So all of the big, amazing, dreamy ideas that you have for your life, use the full moon's energy and the eclipse energy, which is still kind of lingering right about now, to jumpstart what you want to see for your life. Y'all, this moonshine is strong, okay? Can I just, it is strong. I had 2 sips, okay? 2 sips. And I feel it. That's all I'm gonna say. I just feel it. Now, what does this have to do with Ancestor Willie Otey Kay, this beautiful dressmaker? Historically, in African traditions, the cloth that you wear, the external things that you wear, the jewelry, the head wraps, all of those things are connected to maybe status or ritual or ceremony. Certain clothings had different patterns which proclaimed an honor or a dignity or belonging to a certain tribe. So clothing wasn't just, I'm putting this on just because. It was a statement. It professed who you are. And as we transition into coming into the newness of a timeline, because we're grounding those big dreams that we have for ourselves down into the 3D. So we're stepping into a new timeline of what we want for ourselves. And you don't have to be. Please know that wherever you are in your journey, however you visualize this for your journey, that's your journey. If you are in that place of making these dreams and wanting to see them come to reality, doing manifestation work, this is the time when we've kind of stepped into that opportunity to be in the new timeline of what you want. And the biggest thing about manifestation is you walk it like you talk it, even if it ain't here. You embody the manifestation that you want, and you move as if it is already done. It is yours, as if you see it happening in your 3D already. Even if you don't, you move as though you do. Clothing helps us do that. Clothing helps us shift into a persona. Clothing helps us sink into a feeling of maybe dignity or royalty. Clothing allows us to embody what we feel inside. It lets us express that outwardly. Not just clothing, but like hairstyles, jewelry, accessories, purses, watch, shoes, all those things that help us identify and show who we are outwardly, because we're expressing what we feel inwardly. And Miss Willie did that. She made sure that people who came to her could walk away feeling like they were expressing who they were in a time when Jim Crow and other laws and hatred and all sorts of stuff was trying to take away people's voice, trying to remove and strip away identity. She gave people the opportunity to express their identity through their clothing. And I really love how this all ties together with my earlier story about this weekend and the full moon and wearing this jacket, this coat, is because I said one of my desires, one of my manifestations is I live a life of opulence. And to me, this felt like opulence. Being out on a boat felt like opulence. And so I said, well, I'm opulent. I'm a mogul. I'm this. Let me walk in it. Let me be in it. If I am professing that that's what I am, I'm not going to wait for my 3D reality to fit that, because the 3D reality is a reflection of my internal reality. So if my internal reality is saying and professing that I am a mogul, that I am a diva, that I am opulent, that my life is opulent, that I live in luxury, if my internal script is that, then what I put on the external of my body must match that. And when it does, my 3D reality must match that. So my internal reality, which is 4D and up, now I am pushing that out so that the 3D reality can catch up. But I'm not waiting for the 3D reality to catch up for me to start acting and moving and living like what I know is happening inside. That's why I'm fabulous in my fox fur coat with the fabulous hood, okay? That's why I'm expressing my opulence through this, my authenticity through this, because Ancestor Willie showed it help. She was like, yes, boo, come on, I did gowns, but you got this fur coat, boo. You got this fox fur coat, hunty, okay? So my question to you, the sacred work, and really, remember my 3 pillars are sacred expression, community healing, empowered legacy. So this week I want to focus on the sacred expression. So the sacred expression opportunity for you and me is to define what this next timeline of life looks like for you. What do you want to embody as you step into the next evolution, the next iteration of you and your being? And once you start to paint that picture of what do I want to embody, what does this timeline look like for me, then start to also paint the picture of, well, what do I look like being in that new timeline? What am I wearing? How am I dressing? How am I talking? Start to create the vision of what feels good for you, what's in alignment for you for this new timeline. And once you have that vision created, why don't you start moving towards it? Start playing with that. Start seeing what's in your current catalog of styles and however you externally express yourself. Start looking at those things and seeing what works and what doesn't. That's a part of the full moon energy, is to release. So what in your life might need to be released to allow you to outwardly express who you are and how you are moving in your new timeline better? We can be doing that over these next 2 weeks before the new moon hits, because when the new moon hits, we're going to shift into what are we calling in now. So right now we're shifting into, all right, what does it look like for me to move as if everything I want, everything I have manifested has already happened, and I am now that person with that manifestation, and that person with that manifestation looks like this. That person in that manifestation speaks like this. That person in that manifestation expresses themselves and their ideas like this. That is the sacred work, and that is the sacred expression of you. That's what we're working on this week. If you decide to do that, it's totally up to you. You could always do it later. I'm just saying, this full moon energy paired with the eclipse is really allowing us to step into a new timeline in a way that we haven't done before. Allow yourself to express out what you are and how you move and how you love being you in the version that you have or are evolving into. Now, I want to say, don't get me wrong. I don't want you out here thinking Robin Denise said, I got to change my whole wardrobe and I got to go buy new things and I got to do this so I can embody who I am. No, what I'm asking you to do is to sit with your heart's desires and then to ask yourself, are you allowing your outward expression to represent those heart's desires? And if you are not, how can you? And if you're already doing that, how can you do it more? What ways can you move more authentically in your inward expression of what you want to see for your life? That's what I'm saying. Take what works, leave the rest. And know that it's always your journey. I'm just here sharing some stuff that the ancestors shared with me to share to you. That's it. All right, divine beings, I love you. Remember that you are loved. You are loved. And baby, I'm always rooting for you. And so are them ancestors, honey. I'm going to finish this off. That's some good stuff, boy. I don't know what they did in that, but that's good and strong. Until next time.
Conversations with the Ancestors is produced and edited by Robin Denise. Theme song For You, co-written and co-performed by Robin Denise. Join us in connecting to the Ancestors by rating, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to Conversations with the Ancestors on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can get deeper with your ancestors and support this work by joining the community at robindenise.com. There you'll find free resources for download and online courses to help you pull on your ancestral wisdom and the abundance they have for you. Once again, that's robindenise.com.